If you come across a radio frequency anywhere putting more variety and more diversity on the air than KBLA Talk 1580, we sure would like to hear about your discovery.
You got to have vision.
You can search, but we are confident that you won't find more shows covering more topics, hosted by a more diverse and inclusive lineup of talkers than the squad we have assembled here at KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the time, brothers. This is the time.
We've got something for everybody.
That's right.
Health and healing, history and humor, issues and events, empowerment and entertainment, all in one station.
What's really going on?
Free enterprise, you dig?
KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes.
Oh yeah. We got a lot to talk about.
King Kong ain't got on me.
Showed up. Woo! Showed up.
Ursha, baby. Come on.
Pimpin'. Oh boy. What y'all know about it?
Woo!
Supermodel. Fresh out of Elle magazine. Buy her own bottle. Woo! Look, pimp juice, I keep it on. Bad than a mother. Oh, now you're a bad girl. Let me hear you. If you're a bad girl. Players, when you see me, act like you know me. I keep $1 worth of dimes. You know pimpin' ain't easy. For all my chicks in the club, who knows how to cut a rug? If you're a bad girl, get at me, bad girl. Work me, baby. Taking it the way I like. I'm ready to be bad. I need a bad girl. Say yeah. Get at me, bad girl. What sexy ladies coming on with me tonight? I'm ready to be bad. I need a bad girl. Bad, baby. Get at me, bad.
That is Ursha, baby, from the Confessions album, the last R&B album to sell 10 million copies and go diamond, and also the best R&B album over the last 15 years. Tell me different.
The last 15
I'm
years.
listening. Give me a better one. I'll wait.
Oh.
There ain't a bad song on that.
You're right.
Matter of fact, I put a poll up on the KBLA page last week. Name an album that ain't got one bad song on it. That's one of them.
Ooh, that is one.
Not one bad. Somebody put Thriller. I go, no, that lady in my life is not very good to me. Not a fan of Beat It either.
That's a really good question, because usually, I mean, you can be about 80-90%, but usually there's something on there that doesn't hit.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
But Ursha,
Confessions is different.
By the way, shout out to Damon Isaiah Turner. Just sent me this post. I want to read it to you before we kick off your Raw here. It says, and the plot thickens. Let's run it down. JSU put Deion's contract that after 30,000 ticket sales, he would receive a percentage of the sales. That didn't happen the whole time he was there. The ticket sales got missing. Deion, the football team, nor the staff saw any of that money. There was a lucrative TV deal in place that Deion wanted to get, but the university did not. Deion, with his own money, built a new locker room and tennis courts, all the new designs, Deion's pocket. The new players' lounge, Deion. He also used his own money to feed his players. After all the fancy meals you saw the players eating, that was Deion. When JSU went to the celebration last year, the school didn't give any money back to athletics. Deion used a lot of his personal money to fund numerous things around campus. The university did not help. The president wanted his name in the headlines as much as Deion. Deion wanted to coach the Celebration Bowl this year. JSU president said no, and the Celebration Bowl is sold out. The jury is out on if he will or not. A last-minute offer was made for $1 million for Deion to stay, but he had to pay his staff out of that. There was no new offer made after the first year of success. My.
Very interesting.
Wow. I think that's a mess.
There you have it. I'm not mad. That's where I stand.
So you happy for Deion. Get out of there. Get out of that cesspool. But I'm going to tell you what is not bad is a good old Raw Report. Let's jump into it. Let's go. Come on, Andy.
Come on. It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
From entrepreneurs and entertainers to money and meditation,
Robin's got you covered.
Get out of here.
Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to The Rob Report on the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580. Robin's got a lot to talk about.
All right. Kenya Barris.
I want to know what this is.
Kenya Barris. First of all, I really like the guy.
He is a genius, I think.
He is a great. He's a great exec. He's produced so many different types. Well, it's funny that I'm about to say types when this is actually what he's being called out for. People think that he sticks to the same type of content and that he has this infatuation with interracial or mixed people.
Every single show he does.
Well, this is why they are calling him out. If you've not heard
Blackish?
or seen, rather,
Blackish ain't interracial?
No, but the spinoff of Mixed-ish is, right?
Oh,
and so,
that's right.
yeah. Okay, but let's get into it a little bit. Kenya Barris, who is, if you know, he's the co-creator of Blackish, Mixed-ish, Grownish, Black AF, which is such a great show on
hilarious.
It is such a great show on Netflix, but it's also based on his own life, right? Because and so is Blackish. He married an interracial or a biracial woman, Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
They had all these kids, and then Blackish is basically how it is. You grew up in the hood, and then you have kids, and they don't know what it's like to struggle. So that's what Blackish is about. And then Mixed-ish was yeah, it is. But that was a spinoff, and now he has a film that's coming out in January called You People.
Real quick, not to cut you off on Black AF. People were upset. They said that he used an interracial relationship on that, and I go, no, Rashida Jones is black, but they don't know that Rashida Jones is black. That's Quincy Jones's daughter,
yeah.
but she's so light-skinned and looks like a white woman. They thought it was an interracial relationship.
I don't know what that's about, because that's pretty clear. Even the fact that it's based. See, even Black AF was based off of his life, right? And also kind of like Blackish is sort of the same thing. So I don't know why people had an issue with that. That's just, to me, for the birds. People just always want to say something, right?
You know how we do.
That's how it is. That's how it is.
That's the theme of the night tonight, huh?
So this new film that I personally cannot wait to see, it's starring Eddie Murphy, which we get to see him back in all of his genius. Nia Long, as well as Jonah Hill. This is going to be an interesting one. You People, we already know kind of what that insinuates, but let's go ahead and play the trailer for anybody who has not seen it or heard it yet. I think it's going to kind of interesting, and then I'll tell you what some people on Twitter have to say about it and why they're upset.
About life, how are you?
Let me replay that for you so we can hear it all the way.
Okay.
So nice to meet you guys. What's going on? Tell me about life. How are you? How's work?
So you want to marry my daughter?
Yes I do.
So do you hang out in the hood all the time, or do you just come up here for our food and women?
It's a valid question.
It is.
What's the difference between me and you?
If Amir and I had a baby, it would be a very nice baby. Mixed race people are really awesome. You have like Mariah and Derek Jeter, and then of course you have the GOAT.
The GOAT?
The greatest of all time.
Yeah, I know what it means, but who are you referring to?
Our guy, the legend, Malcolm X.
What in the mother?
What's the difference between me and you?
And she's not pregnant because we don't even do that much stuff. She's not a prude. She knows her way around it, and that's that. And I respect. And what I'm saying is, I love your daughter, and I would make a good husband.
It's pretty. It seems pretty
hilarious.
funny. They are sitting at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Hollywood, by the way, and Jonah Hill obviously wants to marry their daughter, and so listen, people are upset about it. They are going off on Kenya Barris. One person said, it's sad to see how Hollywood is erasing black people with biracial actors, and the few people who call it out on here, y'all minimize it to they're just hating. Kenya Barris is contributing to eraser by consistently casting biracial people as full black, and it should be a conversation. I think that's...
Can I ask you a question?
You ask me one, and then I'll ask you one right back. Go ahead.
Okay, you said that it's the content that he puts out is semi-autobiographical.
Mm-hmm.
Does every single project have to be, though? How about just put a black woman in there? What's the problem?
What part of this does not have a black woman in there?
Well, this is about an interracial relationship. Every single project that he does, there's a mixture of some sort. I think Black America's just, can we have a Michelle Obama in there? Why does he have to do that? Is he pushing a narrative? Is it intentional, and why? I think it's a fair question.
Okay. All right. And I think, obviously, according to Twitter, people feel similarly. But I don't necessarily see it as that. What we see right now in our society is a combination of people. You see black people having babies, interracial relationships, biracial children all the time.
I know nothing about that.
Guess what, though? Guess what? Biracial children, what are they?
What?
They're black people. So I know you're talking about, can't we just have a Michelle Obama in there? Can't we just have a black woman in there? Can we, and I don't see anything wrong with, I don't know that he's pushing a narrative. I think that it's all, for the most part, a lot of what he is familiar with and comfortable with because that's his life.
On. Maybe the first project or the second? All of them?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Clearly,
he's got to be pushing some narrative if he's making a conscious decision to say every single wife or whatever, or daughter or whatever, has to be biracial. Why? And I know I sound like a racist or something, because this is what white people are screaming in media right now. Why does every single show that comes on gotta have, why every commercial got black people now? Why? I was complaining, I was watching Bel Air, and I was like, why does every black show have a member of the LGBTQ on it now? So is there a narrative in every piece of content in Hollywood these days?
Maybe and maybe not. I think, similarly to what these networks have done, these production companies have done, these brands, organizations, and all of that who put content on TV. They had to get with the times. They had to understand that there are, we look differently now. Our society looks different, right? So it's not just clear black, white, Asian. It's not that anymore. You're having biracial children. You got black people having children with Asian people. I mean, it's a whole mixture, right? And that is people's reality. That is the reality of what's going on. I mean, and so they understood that at some point they have to start showing what's real to us. People who are at home who are watching commercials for Cheerios, and you just see only black kids because that's the only thing that exists. It's a black family. It's just like, well, no, that's not true because, my family has a white father or black mother or, I have interracial marriages and biracial kids and family members, siblings, and all that stuff. That's what our world looks like right now. So I think people are just getting with the times. I don't think it's pushing a narrative. I think that that's just what they're doing. They're showing a good example of what it looks like now.
Okay. I mean, and you're right. I mean, we've been begging for equality across all spectrums.
Yeah.
This is part of it. Yeah. And now that it's happening, we're upset that it's being force-fed to us.
Yeah, well, it's not being forced. It's not being force-fed if it's coming from one person. Think about that. You have a whole group of, people who are pushing black content, and we just have one guy who's pushing or creating content that has, interracial relationships.
I just think people like me would love the talent that Kenya Barris has and have the focus that Tyler Perry does. Can I switch them? Because Kenya Barris is talented. All of his content is hilarious and compelling. Tyler Perry's stuff is garbage, but he's got nothing but black people. Can we switch them? Is that possible?
I just think that that's unfair. And I don't, you sound like you want Wakanda no matter what on every single TV screen, on every single, movie theater. Is that true? You just want...
I think people are saying Black Hollywood is finally on the come up. We're making our own content, really good content too. Can it just be black for now?
The other thing is, before we move on from this conversation, the other thing is I believe that some people read things on Twitter, they read things on social media and wouldn't have a problem with it unless they read someone else's narrative.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, because you read it, you want to pick up off of that because Because you'll see comment after comment of people saying the same thing. And it's like, you probably weren't even thinking that. You probably were just happy that you saw Nia Long, a black woman, Eddie Murphy, a black man, and then Jonah Hill, who you may have, laughed at and seen some of his movies and never had a problem with, and they probably never had an issue with it until they saw someone else's comment. And that part I don't like.
There is no doubt about that, what you just said.
It's very factual.
And last thing, did Jonah Hill put that weight back on?
I think a little bit. I think a little bit of it.
I was surprised by that, because he was
But it's
really
almost hard
thin.
to sustain a really small frame. It's hard to sustain that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
but he's nowhere near what he used to be, though.
Jonah used to be big as the whale. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
not as the whale. When we come forward, we're going to talk about Indonesia and what's cracking out there. My goodness, I don't know if I'm taking the trip anytime soon to Indonesia, but I'll tell you what's going on with them when we come forward. It's KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles,
Middays to nighttime.
like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Central Neighborhood Health Foundation is a full-service network of federally qualified health care centers that serves local communities throughout Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. CNHF clinics provide low-cost to no-cost, compassionate, comprehensive, quality health care, which includes primary care services for chronic disease and diabetes management, pediatric and women's services, preventive care, vision and dental screenings, COVID-19 testing and vaccines, flu vaccines, behavioral health, HIV, and substance use services. Virtual telehealth visits are available from the comfort of your home with highly qualified physicians and medical professionals. CNHF also provides peer support specialist training and help with housing navigation. Central Neighborhood Health Foundation. Your wellness is our priority. Comprehensive care built on trust and respect. For more information, visit cnhfclinics.org or call 213-536-5815 today to locate a clinic near you.
DeonRambo.com, that's me. I am Rambo, teaching you about contracts at the Westin Hotel, December 17th. That's coming up, December 17th. It's all free, sponsored by Linda Street. Listen, this is important. When you go to DeonRambo.com, you'll see I have LA County coming, the mayor's office coming, the city coming, prime contractors coming, everyone, and they can only talk for 6 minutes each. I take contracting very serious. You should too. DeonRambo.com. See you December 17th. DeonRambo.com.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to announce a can't-miss community event.
It's a celebration.
Welcome home, Mayor-elect Karen Bass.
You gotta be kidding me.
On Saturday, December 10th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., join KBLA Talk 1580 in Leimert Park at the intersection of Leimert and Vernon for this free public event as we celebrate Mayor-elect Bass's historic victory. There'll be live performances from Brian McKnight, Wapale, Club Nouveau, and more. There'll be food trucks and a diverse array of vendors, along with the attendance and participation from community leaders, elected officials, celebrities, business owners, and other notables. KBLA Talk 1580 will host Mayor-elect Bass on the main stage at 11 a.m. as we reflect on the importance of this moment and what it means for the Black community, women, and all Angelinos who believe in the limitless potential of our amazing city. We look forward to celebrating with Mayor-elect Karen Bass and you, Saturday, December 10th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the intersection of Leimert and Vernon.
It's a celebration.
This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on, come on.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're also listening to the Raw Report. She's on fire. We're talking about Indonesia now. I can't wait.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I don't know if you have plans to go to Indonesia, but let me tell you, they just banned sex outside of marriage for locals and foreigners.
Then I can't go?
It basically, the rule applies to both locals and to foreigners living in Indonesia or visiting a holiday destination such as Bali. It says that this law is also going to seriously target the LGBTQ community as gay marriage is illegal in Indonesia, right? It's a trip. It's a trip. I know.
Are they saying gay people have sex outside more than straight people? Is that the assumption?
Maybe so. Let's dig into it a little bit more and tell me what you think. It's just a trip. It says that unmarried couples will face up to a year in jail if they are caught doing so. Unmarried. Yes. And it says, so here are some of the rules. Unmarried couples are banned from living together.
Wow.
So if you're not married, you are not shacking up. Insulting the president becomes a criminal offense. That's a whole new rule. And expressing views counter to national ideology is also banned.
Wow.
So it's a trip because, I think sometimes we take for granted that we live in the United States and, as much as we want to complain, and don't get me wrong, there are tons of things that need to change about our own home, right? But when you think about how strict it is in other countries and even if you want to visit, you don't know. And that's some of the, as much as I love travel and I think we should all go abroad and sink our teeth in culture, in other cultures, you got to read up and make sure that you know what you're talking about when you go out there, what you're doing, how you're moving, because you don't know how their rules will affect you. So I don't know right now if this applies to people who are visiting. Say you're not married, you're visiting. Can you go out there and stay together? I mean,
you would think give us a little grace because we don't know the customs here. I remember you told me when you went to Greece, you read up on Greece before you went over there, though.
I'm gonna read up on any place that if I touch down in your country, I need to find out what I can say, what are your faux pas, what is frowned upon. I mean, and it's funny because I actually used to teach.
Oh, well, here we go. Story time.
I used to teach. I wasn't technically a teacher. I was a speaker for this school, fashion school, FITM, right here in downtown LA. So what it was is I would go around to different high schools and I would be a speaker to different classrooms, different subjects. And every speech that I would give, it was based off of a particular curriculum, but we tied fashion somehow into the curriculum.
That's awesome.
It's very, very cool. But it was very, it was an extreme, not a program, but you have to do some serious studying because you're going to present and speak to these kids and you're talking to them within their own subject matter, right? Yeah. So if we're talking economics, I have to come there and pair that, what I'm talking about, with fashion. So we used to use Levi's, right? Levi's jeans and the history of it and inflation and what happened with all of that. So now I'm talking your lingo in this classroom.
Don't use Kanye.
Oh, Lord. It wasn't even a thing back then. No. But we would tie it in somehow. So my point is there was, we had to learn about presidents and history. We had to learn about it so we could teach it, right? So we used to talk about some of the foreign policies, going over to different countries and what means what. Like for instance, shaking the hand is considered rude in certain countries. Burping is considered appropriate in other countries. But you don't know. You wouldn't know unless you learned about that stuff. Giving a gift is actually inappropriate and an insult in certain countries. So you just really have to read up and make sure that you know what's going on. And furthermore, you don't want to get arrested like Brittany Griner did.
Come on.
And now she's over in Russia and people, I guess maybe in the hardest prison system that they have out there because you don't know what their policies are.
That's a great example, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a scary thing. I mean, I don't know necessarily when this takes effect. I don't know how they plan on proving it. But, my thing is even like the optics of it, right? Like what can people, I don't know how they can prove it, but even if, like I was explaining this earlier, did you ever watch Bridgerton?
Yeah, both seasons.
Okay, great. So you'll know what I'm talking about. On Bridgerton, remember that in those days, a young woman and a man couldn't even, if they were unmarried, they couldn't even be seen together without, some sort of like not an authority, but like someone who was watching, like a chaperone. Thank you. They couldn't even be seen talking together without being chaperoned because of the optics.
Is that sexist or not to you? Some would say it's very ladylike. Others would say, why can't she be with a man? What's wrong with that?
What would be ladylike about it?
To say that it's almost protective to say that you shouldn't leave her alone with a man. Some would see it that way. Okay. Others would say she's grown, she can be with who she wants. How would you say it?
Look at the day and age. I may have thought differently then than I do now. Today, I'm like, leave that woman alone. Let that woman, be a woman, right? I don't know, but back then I'm sure it was looked at differently. But in those days, you couldn't be alone because of what it looked like.
Yeah.
You may not be able to prove that something happened or not, but it just looks like something was happening. So what they would do, even back then, is say, sir, we don't know if y'all had something going on, but just because of the way it looks, you have to now marry her. You have to marry her just based on the fact that it looked crazy and y'all might have done something.
Isn't that still true today to a certain extent?
How so?
If you see a man and a woman standing by themselves together, what do you assume? They're together. Now, you're not saying they got to go get married. If you see two people at lunch, if you and I go to lunch and we're sitting at a table across from each other at the booth, they would think that we're together.
Yeah, right.
But they wouldn't think we're married. We're going to get married because of it. But.
Yeah. But you were saying just standing there. that could really be anything.
Yeah.
But, which is interesting, I went to dinner and I saw two men eating, it was dinner. They were eating dinner together. And instantly I thought, oh, that's a, good for them. That's
The Prejudice. Welcome to The Prejudice podcast.
I did. I thought I was a nice couple.
Two men cannot sit next together and have a dinner without being gay? Is that what you're saying? Matter of fact, let me tell you a quick story. He's probably listening. I'm going to give it to him anyway. My homeboy, I ain't going to mention his name. Each time we go to the movies, he's got to have a seat in between us. He will not sit next to... I'm
Y'all not sharing popcorn?
You ain't even that cute. When we go to the movies, there has to be a seat in between us. It's the dumbest thing in the world.
Wait, do y'all still go to the movies together?
When we come forward. Is that what you do? Oh, come out! I'm out of here.
It's a very valid question.
Two grown men can't go to the movies together?
Of course they can. Of course they can. It's a very valid question. Do they,
Andy, shut up right now. There is nothing wrong with two grown men going to the movies together.
Y'all probably couldn't go to Indonesia together.
No.
Two.
And is it my fault that butter is so slippery? I'm just saying, is it my fault?
Wait a minute. How did this turn into that, Danny
I don't know.
You took it there.
Did you buy a hot dog?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
What more do you want from me?
I don't know what to say to that. When we come forward. When we come forward
is what we better say.
Woo, when we come forward. Wow. I have the question of the day, and this involves us as media.
Ooh.
It involves us. So it's a good question, I think. Trae Young is involved, and we'll get to it on the other side. You are listening to KBLA 1580. Stay right there.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In a contentious runoff election, Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock has defeated Republican football star Herschel Walker. Warnock's victory gives Democrats an outright majority in the Senate and hands President Joe Biden and his party a key win. Pfizer is rejecting a claim from rival Moderna that it copied their COVID-19 vaccine. The New York-based pharmaceutical company asked a federal court in Boston to dismiss Moderna's lawsuit for alleged patent violations related to their coronavirus shot. shot. Moderna accuses Pfizer of copying 2 pieces of technology that make the vaccines possible. The leader of one of the nation's largest investment banks is concerned about a recession. Jamie Dimon told CNBC inflation could bring about a recession, and consumers are changing their shopping habits due to inflation. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? Call the accident guys, because unlike other firms, an attorney will negotiate your case, not a paralegal.
This is a rather bold pronouncement, but we think we can back it up. If you come across a radio frequency anywhere putting more variety and more diversity on the air than KBLA Talk 1580, we sure would like to hear about your discovery. You got to have vision. You can search. We are confident that you won't find more shows covering more topics, hosted by a more diverse and inclusive lineup of talkers than the squad we have assembled here at KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the time, brothers. This is the time.
We've got something for everybody.
That's right.
Health and healing, history and humor, issues and events, empowerment and entertainment, all in one station.
What's really going on?
Free enterprise, you dig? KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes.
Oh yeah. We got a lot to talk about.
King Kong ain't got on me.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older, 52,
36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor
about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Ew. Stuck in a cycle of rewashing your clothes? Ugh. Because you can't remove tough laundry odor? Ugh. When detergent by itself can't cut it, use new Downy Rinse and Refresh. With a breakthrough odor-removing formula, it removes odors in 1 wash, better than the leading value detergent in 3 washes, keeping all your laundry fresh. Now you can break the cycle of rewashing with Downy Rinse and Refresh.
KBLA Talk 1580.
The thrill of victory. The thrill of victory. The thrill of victory. Yeah, man.
KBLA Talk 1580 wishes to congratulate Mayor-elect Karen Bass on her historic win as the first woman and only second African-American to serve as chief executive of the city of Los Angeles.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Bass, and welcome back to Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and this is my very first interview, and I am proud that it's here.
We are proud to have you here. What do you want to say to the listeners of KBLA Talk 1580?
I want to say thank you from just, I'm just full of the love that I felt every place I went in the community. And I just want the listeners to know that I promise you I won't disappoint you. I will be accessible. I will never forget where I'm from, and understand that is my primary motivation.
Congratulations, Mayor-elect Karen Bass, holding all leaders accountable to you.
No matter who you voted for, no matter who you are or where you live, I will be a mayor for you.
We're KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. Talk 1580. And we don't black down. We've got a lot to talk about. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Rip on the beat. Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh, this is the new
Can't
version.
Stop, won't stop,
you
never
gonna do
stop.
that to me?
Can't stop,
You ain't
won't
gonna
stop,
play
never.
no Kim? Come on.
Can't stop, won't stop, bad boy.
For those that don't know,
Always
this is
upgrading
King
from my
Combs.
last. I don't want these
Son,
and
the number one rap track in the country right there.
enjoy it. I was locked 23 in one. Now I bought like 23 in one.
Kodak Black.
Type of game I'm always playing manhunt. I'm the one who killed the fool in what? Still got the fire in my eyes, but I changed though. Suck my dick, I'm too rich to drive a Range Rover. La hater, baby, I remember stealing mangoes. How my side better than my main? How my side better than my main? Every nigga say smoke to get extinguished.
I just talk that Guapanese, that's my language. I just put some Cartiers on my main shake. I just put some Valentino on my main girl. Bad boy chain bustin' like the rainbow. I'm off yak, I'm with yak in the limbo. Yelling out the window, money in the thing, no. Yeah. We outside again, couple goons with me, we ain't hiding it. Brand new coloring, that's what we sliding in. Bad little bitch, I'm proud of her, that p***y good, she proud of it. I can't fall in love, cause that money be my bottom. But she still suck it and she swallow it. All these lames said he hang, cause more money be more problems. And we'll let him talk and we gon' silence.
And it's King Combs, Kodak Black, can't stop, won't stop. You know what? The beat is fire.
The beat is fire.
God dang, they could just get these rhymes together, man. If they got these flows together, I'm telling you, this generation could do some big stuff.
Yeah.
And in King Combs' defense, he does all right. His rhymes are all right, you know? Kodak, I've never been a Kodak cat.
Yeah, neither have I.
Ever. Uh-oh, here he comes.
To quote Waka Flocka from years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that dictionary rap.
Whew.
I'm not saying I agree with that,
Oof.
but I'm sure he shares the sentiments of a lot of people, unfortunately.
I mean, a lot of people say it's just microwavable hip-hop and it's forgotten in about a week, which, by the way, is probably true, but it's selling more than our heroes ever sold.
Yeah.
They're making more money than they've ever made. How can you look them in the face and go, y'all don't know what y'all doing? They're like, really? Let me show you my bank account.
Well, I mean, they would argue that they are the voice of the streets, right? They're the voice of the young community right now. So it's like, I don't know that that's going to change anytime soon. I think that is a point we want it because we're grown now.
Yeah.
And at some point, they're going to grow up. They're going to change. They're going to evolve. And then it's going to be something else, though. That newer generation is going to be something else.
Will it be worse?
Maybe, or maybe it'll be more progressive. Maybe it'll be better.
Here's what concerns me. Like, when we were coming up, all the white people used to say, that's not music. That rap music, that's just guys talking.
Yeah.
It's not music. Anybody could do it. You can make the case today. That's true. That anybody could do it.
Yeah, well,
The cats that were back in our day, you couldn't do that.
No, that
You
was
can't
a
do what
skill.
Rakim doing.
That was a skill.
You can't do what Nas was doing. You can't do what Big Daddy Kane was doing.
Yeah.
But today, what you just heard, you and I can do that.
Yeah.
Does that not concern you for the future of hip hop?
Again, I just, it's always changing, and a lot of times for the better. I mean, our beats are better. A lot of people
you think the beats are better today?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. No, the beats back when we were coming up, they were using the same instruments, just in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So the beats obviously were bomb because it was new to us, and that's what it was about back then. But yeah, we've progressed. There are different it's different instrumentation now that you have to appreciate. I think it's a wide variety. We have different styles, different sounds. All these different producers are bringing in all these different elements. So yeah, by far, I think the beats are better now. But we also have rappers who are more like they're more well traveled. They know more. They have experienced more. So I think that is a part of the evolution of these people. Again, that comes with time, wisdom, and experience. These young rappers though are now experiencing these things on a faster pace, a faster pace than what they did back then. Our young guys like back then, they weren't traveling the world like this and have all that money like that. So when I say that it can be better, I think that it's possible that it can be more progressive, just being that they're experiencing more at a faster pace.
I agree with everything you said, except for the gentleman you're listening to right now in your headphones. Dr. Dre was futuristic on him. This beat, listen to him.
This isn't back then though. This is 90s. To me, that's my point. We had different producers like Dre, Swiss Beats. Think about, we could go down the list of different producers who have brought in a different sound. Timbaland. But Dr. Dre is one of them. I don't date him back to the 80s. He's not. That's not. So I'm talking about that category, that era, 80s.
You don't put him with Marley Marl.
No.
Okay, that's fair.
No.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because Dre did it all.
yeah, exactly. He did. He's still lasting the test of time. All right. Question of the day.
Love it, I love it.
This clip that I'm about to play, I actually had to do a little bit more digging to find out some behind the scenes on what led up to this moment. But the Atlanta Hawks player, Trae Young. Baller. If you know, he had gotten into, there was, I guess, a little bit of tension between him and his coach. And he missed a game. I won't get into all the details because that's actually not what the question is about. He missed a game, and this was a conversation that a reporter had with him after the game. And let's just go ahead and play it. The reporter is basically lining him up, questioning him about why he was not there. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this.
It's unfortunate that private situations and private conversations get out to the public, but I guess that's what the world we live in now. But I'll just focus on basketball and focus on helping my team win, and that's what I got to get to refocus it on.
But what's public was that you not at the game, so why weren't you there?
Man, it's how you was at me, bro.
I'm curious. You're leader of this team.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's hard for people who don't know the full situation to understand it. So, it's like I said, it's a private matter again, and it made public, which was unfortunate. And if it was stayed private, it probably wouldn't have been as big of a deal. But like I said, it's unfortunate. And my job and my goal is to win a championship, and that's all I focus on.
But you can see the perception, though, Trae. You are a leader of this team, and when you're not there to support your guys.
When you're an outside guy like you are, you don't understand in a private matter, in a private situation, you should probably stay on the outside. And like I said, it's unfortunate that everybody has to understand and know a little bit of the details that went on inside. But, inside here, we're all good. And, if you got any more questions about that, then you can talk to somebody else about it. That's all I got to say about it.
Again, I respect what you're saying about the private of the locker room, the private of the practice court. We're not here. I guess it's just a public thing of you not going to support your teammates when you're healthy about not going on the bench. So where's the disconnect there?
If I was healthy, I would have been playing.
But, John was in a boot, and he was still at the game.
Yeah, but you don't know the full story. Again, no, I don't want to.
So that's just, there's more to it. If you being healthy,
a private matter needs to stay private.
Oh my God, you know how I feel about that already.
Okay, please. Before I delve into this a little bit, because I have my own specific. I actually had a back and forth. It was a very kind back and forth with someone, but we were giving our own perspective on this particular situation. So before I do all of that, Danny Mo, you heard the clip. Trae Young was giving off, how he felt. He was like, look, my job is here, to make sure that, my team wins and, we won a championship. Reporter is asking him repeatedly, number one, where were you? You weren't here at the game. Where were you? And then you can see how it looks. You're a leader of this team. XYZ player was here, but you weren't. So tell me your thoughts initially when you hear this video.
Two things. One, he is allegedly the leader of the team. You got to be there, regardless. We're not allowed to peek inside the locker room or inside the front office to see what the battling is all about. Here's what I know. People pay money to go to those games. Some people get on a freaking airplane to go to those games. Hotel, food, time away from work, time away from their families. You owe them an appearance. If you can't be on the floor, get your butt in there to at least be seen by people that came there to see you, the leader of the team. Number two, kids are watching, man. You know how I feel about that. If you're gonna be a leader on that team, there's sometimes you gotta swallow your pride a little bit. What if you were wrong? Swallow your pride. Say, I'm sorry, here's what I did. Say it to the public, get your butt out there. I'm sick of people just acting foul and expecting everybody to conform to the way that they want to be. It's not the way it works. If you're going to be the leader of the team, you're going to be the highest paid player on the team, act like it. And we will support you in every way. But you can't have both ways. You can't.
Okay. From what I understand, he was injured or something like that, and
he could still be there.
There was some sort of back and forth where his coach gave him a couple of options. One of the options was like, basically, if you're not going to play, you cannot come or something like that. He chose not to come to be present, but he's also saying that it's a private matter. Now, here's the thing. So I had this conversation. Let me let you in on what the conversation was. I said, as a member of the media, this actually basically makes me upset. This exchange makes me upset. Someone else agreed with me, but the back and forth came when a gentleman said, but why? I feel like he's doing his job. He feels like the reporter is doing his job. I said, no, his job is to ask the question. Once will suffice. It's when you get pushback and you continue asking that makes this overstepping the line. Reporters often try to push the interview to get a soundbite for ratings, and that's the part that I don't like. It was, I think that you can be respectful. I think that you can ask a question. You know how I feel about it. You can ask anything of anyone. It depends on how you're asking. So I think that this particular guy, or let me give you the response of this gentleman really fast. He says, I got you. But as a basketball fan, I would like to know why our star player would intentionally miss a game. I feel like in a profession where your large salary is predicated on you being a public figure, it was a fair question. Especially when you consider he's playing for a black head coach in a players' league. I'm actually glad a reporter can hold him accountable on a topic like leadership/teamwork. Nonetheless, I respect your perspective as a journalist. That was great. I appreciated it.
I agree with that entirely.
But I said I can hear and appreciate your perspective as well. I also think there's a way of asking tough questions to hold people accountable without coming off entitled or pretty much like a butthole.
That's true too.
Yeah, so
he was abrasive, no doubt.
Yeah, so as a member of media, what is stepping over the line? You're asking a question, and here's the job as a media. It's not about him asking the question of where were you and trying to hold them accountable or getting an answer. It's when Trae provided whatever answer that he felt sufficient, and he said the private matter and all of that. It's when you keep going. What is the line that should not be crossed as a reporter?
There is no line if he doesn't answer the question.
So you feel like even in any way you should continue to press it and as this guy said, hold him accountable.
Respectfully. Chuck Todd, who does Meet the Press, right? He gets this criticism all the time because the Republicans go on that show and spew all kind of nonsense all the time. Racist rhetoric and saying that the election was fixed and everything. And they just say it. He never follows up and goes, why do you say that? He lets them put it out there, and everybody moves on. It's like, Chuck, ask him why he would say something so stupid. Chuck never does it. You can't just let people put out all these talking points that they want to get out to the media without answering the freaking question.
So the fact that he says it's a private matter, that it should remain a private matter, should remain a private matter. So someone told you that it was a private matter. Do you think that you still have the right or that you are entitled to get an answer from someone who just told you that the matter was private.
I say the leader of the team, the highest paid player on that team, when people once again travel to go see that kid, give us an answer. We want to support you. We love you. But you got to tell us. Come on, you can't just say, oh, it's a private matter. This ain't none of your business. Is it my business that I left my job to drive all the way down here hours to see you play? Is that my business now?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. MJ Scott says, I respected the young man's patience and remaining professional. The reporter was too aggressive to me. I agree with that. I think that it was I thought that it was crossing the line. I felt like there's this thing that we have as consumers, as fans, as supporters. We have this thing of, because you do what you do, and because you are the highest paid, or the highest leader, or whatever in an organization, and we pay our money to watch you play or to see you, we put these expectations on people that we demand certain things, and I think it's a form of entitlement. And but that's not even the question here. The question really is about media and taking it too far.
I'm telling you, somewhere in that arena that day, somebody bought his son or daughter tickets to go see Trae play. Somebody. They drove hours. They got a hotel and everything. And he ain't there just because. You owe that kid an explanation.
But so you're saying that even if he were sick, because that's going to be
then say it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I agree, especially if you're saying it's a private matter. I don't know that I agree with it.
It wasn't that he was sick, because he would have said that.
Well, he also said that he was like, if I was well, I would have been playing. He had that exchange with the reporter as well.
Anthony Davis didn't play tonight. God dang it. Freaking Anthony Davis didn't play tonight, by the way. But they said he had flu-like symptoms, right? That's an explanation. We were upset. Boy, was I upset. But we understand.
Well, I think that we should also understand, if someone says it's a private matter, that if we don't need to know, then we don't need to know. Urban Spencer says people are way too entitled. I definitely agree with that. Just my thoughts. But when we come forward, we will have the motivational moment of the night. And it comes from a woman that we are all familiar with, or we should be. And you will be if you don't already know on the other side. It's KBLA Talk 1580. Stay right there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Will Smith opens up about the infamous Oscar slap. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News. As a guest on The Daily Show, Will Smith opened up to Trevor Noah about the incident with the Oscar host and comedian Chris Rock at this year's Oscars. Will Smith, who won his first Academy Award later that night, was promoting his forthcoming film, Emancipation, when he spoke with Noah about what life has been like since the shocking incident.
That was a horrific night, as you can imagine. There's many nuances and complexities to it, but at the end of the day, I lost it. And you just never know what somebody's going through. Not that justifies my behavior at all. We just got to be nice to each other, man. The thing that was most painful for me is I took my heart and made it hard for other people. I understood the idea where they say hurt people hurt people.
Yeah. I'm Maisha Cairo, and that's your K-Black Minute News.
Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare for being KBLA Talk 1580's Office of the Week. Into your business today in the KBLA app or KBLA1580.com for the Office of the Week. Congratulations to Trinity Unlimited Childcare.
When you're the victim of a car accident, who goes to bat for you is crucial. We're MVP Accident Attorneys, the personal injury pros. Hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve, our team hits it out of the park. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review. Call 833-MVP-WINS.
Call on me, your MVP.
The Institute for Diversity Certification is all about the 3 Ds: dedication, determination, and discipline. Learn more about our globally recognized diversity certification program today by calling 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192. or visit diversitycertification.org. As the #1 organization for certified diversity professionals and also certified diversity executive credentials, diversitycertification.org will provide an opportunity for you to demonstrate dedication to the field, determination to make progress, and more discipline to your process. Go today and learn more about the diversity certification system. Call 1-800-983-6192. Again, 1-800-983-6192. Or go to diversitycertification.org. That's diversitycertification.org. The standard of excellence, equity, diversity, and inclusion.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ooh, it is time for the motivational moment of the night inside the Raw Report right now.
Yeah, this one comes from, I'm so sorry, I cannot pronounce her last name, Angelica Nwandu? Okay. I don't know if the N is silent or not, but she is the founder of the Shade Room.
Okay.
And she's actually gotten into a lot more like positivity, kind of motivational things.
Noticed.
You have noticed, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but listen, she turned the Shade Room into a multi-million-dollar entity.
It is the #1 place where Black people meet on social media.
Absolutely, definitely,
Period.
and it's remained at the top, I think, 5 Instagram pages of pretty much all time for a number of years now. Anyway, she has this very motivational, she's having an interview and she said something I thought was very, very powerful. Let's go ahead and play it because we only got a few minutes left, but let's leave you with this motivational moment from Angelica.
Because sometimes you just want to move. And sometimes the real thing that you need to do is sit still in the presence of God and just pray. And when it's time to go, you'll have everything you need because God will talk to you. He will download the things that you need to know. He will put situations in place, opportunities, people, so that when it's time to go, you hit with precision.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know what? Speed is overrated, is what he showed me. Hustle sometimes is overrated.
Why is it overrated, Angelica?
Because, listen, if you know God, you know that sometimes you cannot hustle enough to match his favor. Because sometimes you just want to move. And sometimes the real thing that you need to do is sit still in the presence of God and just pray. And when it's time to go, you'll have everything you need because God will talk to you. He will download the things that you need to know. He will put situations in place, opportunities, people, so that when it's time to go, you hit with precision.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know what? Speed.
Is that not? Thank you for that.
That's
that
an
was
all-timer.
not
That's
a
an
mic
all-timer
drop
clip.
moment.
That right there. You played some
She
bomb clips
says,
on this show.
If you know God, you know that sometimes you cannot hustle enough to match his favor. And I thought that was so powerful. She is so correct in that sometimes it's not about the hustle because when you're hustling and you're so busy, you can't hear the direction you're supposed to move, the way that you are supposed to connect with people. You can't hear it all in the direction that God is trying to get to you because you're too busy hustling. But if you sit still long enough for it to hear God and hear the direction that he's trying to take you, when it's time to move, you're going to move with precision. You're going to move and make the right moves, and the timing of it will be so on point. But you have to sit still and listen to God first.
You and that queen are giving me chills right now. That right there.
Come on, Angelica.
Oh my God.
That's a moment right there. That is probably one of the best motivational moments right there.
It's got to be
great.
top 1 or 2.
That's so great. I love it because we're often talking about hustling, grinding, and I used to be the one. I used to advocate heavy for that. But sometimes you just got to sit still and listen to God and let God direct you. And then when you get up, you know exactly what to do.
Fantastic raw reports tonight.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
News and traffic right now. More inside the Danny Mo Show on the other side. KBLA, stay there.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. In a contentious runoff election, Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock has defeated Republican football star Herschel Walker. Warnock's victory gives Democrats an outright majority in the Senate and hands President Joe Biden and his party a key win. Pfizer is rejecting a claim from rival Moderna that it